So what if the question I wanted to ask was, what if we could just communicate in every language possible? Imagine being able to connect without any limits, that we understand each other, like as in not just conceptually, as in we get each other's like the nuances. I'm talking about in every language. Every language. Wouldn't that give us the ability to travel freely? Because we would just connect with everybody, right? And I'm not talking about specifically like telepathy, although I feel like that's something else. But it feels like this freedom inside you, right? It would feel like you know the person and they know you. I mean, even if they start to get to know you, that's the fun part of it because it's like it's just this wonderful process of getting to know someone. Um, and I know that a lot of people have gone through the pandemic, and it's just like, there's just this trauma. It's a collective trauma that people have gone through, and they're saying, I don't know if I should trust it. So there's a lot of people that are pretty much, they feel like they're stuck. But I personally feel like that can be, I don't want to say remedied, but the work has to be put in towards healing and resilience. But that comes with stepping out of the door. And I'm still learning that myself. I'm not some person who's got it all figured out. Okay, so, but it's really about integrating what we got through and just stepping out and just taking that next step little by little, right? You probably have heard this. And if you have, great. Um, you know, there are so many things out there. One of them is really tied to what's called shadow work. I know it's a spiritual thing, but some people find that very helpful. I mean, we are, as a society, as a culture, as a species, being more introduced into different types of levels of awareness. Like we're expanding not only knowledge, but we're expanding how we go about things. One of those things is like I notice is like when it comes to specifically like communication and language, there are people who are still rushing things, but the thing is, we are nature. And in order to grow, and we're talking like not only with quality, but like where it really feels like, wow, it feels substantial, it feels powerful. That comes with time. But people give in to this concept of time that it's like, if I don't do this right now, I'm not going to get it. If I don't do this right now, I'm not going to get it. If I don't, there's fear behind it. But what I was watching this one video before is that if we allow ourselves to surrender to the sensation of that fear rather than the imagination, the thought, and the belief of that fear, we surrender to it and we realize that we're actually okay in the moment. We really are okay in the moment. And this is probably just like a reminder for some of you or a lot of you. That's fine. Um, but I feel like when it comes to like my desire with my dreams with languages, the reason I say before in previous videos is that it's not really about languages, but it's really about connecting, exploration, that childlike um, desire to just like grow and connect and just, and learn from it. Because we've been conditioned to believe that it's like, it has to be this way, it has to be this way, it has to be this way. Discover your own way. But at the same time, step out of that comfort zone, step out of that, it's fear that you can't just step out of fear by saying, I'm going to step out of fear. You can't just face fear by saying, face fear. It comes from little bits and pieces of experience that lead to releasing that. But the thing is, we can't focus also on saying, I need to release my fears. There's always something that we're going to be afraid of. Why? Because we don't know. As humans, we're so used to this mammalian exposure of being in a community, being in tribes, being in warmth. We're warm-blooded animals, right? So, but imagine that actually going beyond that and saying, okay. But the end goal would be like, yes, like, travel over the world, getting to know each other, coming back to our own sense of self and our sense of community and being able to help each other and being able to just grow whatever we want freely without a lot of these constrictions and systems and beliefs, right? But at the same time, we have to integrate those and see, well, what works for me? What works for me? What works for me? So what if we could just do that? What if we could make that as sort of this transmissive, like you sort of flow with each other, being able to just travel freely, being able to really have that compassion with each other and really connect and feel like it's more of an inner freedom, which to me feels much more powerful than whatever's everybody else is giving us. Being undeterred, unaffected by everything else. This rush. Like right now, I'm like, I'm still like, I'm looking for work, but at the same time, there are people who are coming at me and they're just like, do it this way, solution. And it's just like, you mean there's a problem? So it's this hyperactive, sort of crazy, delusional energy of trying to impose their fears onto you when in fact it's just their fears, right? So imagine all this because we feel that when we want to go into that sense of freedom, it's almost like it's outside of us. It feels like it's outside of us. This has to be given to me in order to feel free. I have to get this in order to feel free. I have to have that relationship in order to be free. I have to be this way in order to be free. Be it right now. So I feel strongly about this whole thing about, I'm like, I'm doing the little steps that I can. I mean, I'm still where I am, but I've come such a long way from where I was before. I don't have to prove anything anymore to other people. I don't have to say, okay, I'm like, I have so many things to be grateful for. And I practice that a lot. I don't want to say perfectly every day, but there are many things to be grateful for. I don't know. For me, I make the option to just I make the choice rather, not the option. I make the choice to actually go back to what it is that I'm grateful for, being in the present moment. And for me, it really ties in with fluency, genuine fluency in language, being able to communicate so well. This dream I have of this school, so-called school, but it's not really a school. Being able to just, you know, where people are not constricted by this fear of like, I'm going to lose my thing. I'm going to lose my thing. Like one of them is like losing culture, identity, a collective identity, losing, again, that focus on losing. But instead, for me, I'm repurposing that if you might, if you will, like it's just, I'm going back into, I don't know, sometimes just even words right now don't even cut it. It's words can't explain it. You have to really experience it. So what if also we're just tired. We're just sick and tired. What if we're tired of being tired? So, and just surrender to the flow of life, just let it be shocking at first, but then you start to realize, oh, it wasn't really shocking at all. Oh, that thing that happened wasn't so bad at all. I'm still here. So the only thing we can do is track back into what happened in the past and see where you've come, how far you've come in terms of like, is there tribulations that you've overcome? Is there something that you've somehow gotten past? That's fine. The reason we don't go into the goal right away, into the destination, is because we're not even there yet. Right? It's as simple as that. It's like a bird trying to build a nest. The bird isn't concerned about what the nest should look like. The bird is more about, I'm going to take stick by stick, twig by twig. The flower doesn't concern itself with, I'm going to be a flower. No, I'm going to first be a bud. These are identities, right? These are identifications of what it is to be in this form. We think that it's like, we didn't concern ourselves as babies thinking, oh, I need to get that degree. Oh, I need to get that job. Oh, I need to get this paid. I need to get that person in my life. I need to have this family. I need to have this reputation. I need to have this kind of home, this car, this money, this possession, this animal, this pet, this reputation, this kind of health, this body, this catharsis, this opinion. The list goes on. The babies don't do that. The baby's going with natural, what's natural. And yes, we're adults, but what if we just went back into that sort of like, how would you call this? I guess you can say lax mindset, where it's not giving up. It's really like trusting the moment. So it's giving over, right? So, anyways, you could say food for thought, I suppose. But what if we could eventually get to that point where we're actually flowing with each other? But it has to start with this specific step, steps to take right here, right now, nothing else. That's it. So thank you for watching. I think that's about it. Have a good day.